Hello, everybody. I just want to apologize. We was having technical difficulties on tonight, but thank you so much for staying on and hanging on in there. Thank you for so much. I just want to say welcome to Real Talk with Ellasin, and I am Ellasin. Listen, on this show, we talk about real issues that affect the church as well as the community. And this month, the month of October, we have been talking about domestic violence awareness. But I do also want to say it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month as well. And we just want to say we're praying for everyone who's in the midst of a fight, as well as those who have been battling, and for those who have fought the fight and they have been victorious. So yes to you guys. So with this being Domestic Violence Awareness Month, we've had some phenomenal women sharing their story in hopes to bring awareness to domestic violence, sexual assault, different areas of domestic violence. And we've been sharing our story with hopes that somebody will say, you know what, I have a voice and I matter. We've been sharing our story to let you know that you are not alone. We have been discussing childhood trauma, domestic violence, and I want to throw this out there. It's important for parents, guardians, teachers, neighbors, anyone who has contact with children to be vigilant and educate themselves to notice the signs of someone who's been either sexually assaulted in some kind of domestic violence, right? I also want to put this disclaimer out there. Information shared on these shows can be triggering. If you are feeling triggered, please do not stay in the broadcast, but end it, right? End it, because we do not want anyone to be triggered. I wanted to throw out some statistics out there before I ask the guest to join us on today. And I want to say, according to research, 1 in every 5 women and 1 in every 71 men have been raped, right? That is raped. And I found this so alarming because women's health care has been said to be 16% higher if they were sexually assaulted at a younger age. So we gotta pay more money in healthcare because somebody violated us. I found the statistics to be very alarming. So the National Domestic Violence Hotline number is 1-800-799-7233. The National Sexual Abuse Hotline number is 1-800-656-4673. So today, letting her voice be heard and telling her story. And she is not just a phenomenal woman, but she is a sister friend of mine, none other than Miss Korisha Ford. Korisha, welcome, honey. Korisha? I don't know if Korisha can hear me. So while she's working on hers, I'm just going to go ahead and just talk about some numbers as she gets connected on with us. So 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys have been sexually assaulted before the age of 18. That also was alarming. And the thing about it is, not everyone tells their story. Then also research shows that 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men report having severe physical violence. They have been abused, some kind of physical abuse. Korisha, can you hear us? We can't hear you, Korisha. All right. Well, Korisha she's going to come back in and she's going to join us in the studio. And while I'm waiting on Korisha, I want to say that if there's anyone on here from the show last week when I was sharing my story, I want to say thank you guys so much for the support, the encouraging. It was difficult to share. However, I shared it nonetheless. And I pray that it's been a blessing to some people. Okay, we have Korisha back. Korisha.
Hi.
I can't hear you, honey. Where's your volume?
It's there. Can you hear
All
me
right.
now?
The devil is a lie. Because we were just talking. So I don't know why I can't hear you. I don't know if it's connected to a Bluetooth somewhere else. All right. I'm going to see if I can call Korisha and find out what's going on with her phone, guys. This is technology, right? We live. We're going to see what's going on. Thank you guys for hanging in there with us. Hey, boo, we can't hear you. I can't even hear her on the phone. Korisha? Okay, I think she's trying again. We gonna get this because we got to get it out. Can you hear now?
I can hear you.
Korisha. All right, we're gonna give it one more try because I don't know what happened, but we were talking earlier on here. Y'all start praying because the enemy don't want this story to go forth. I'm going to try to give her a call again. I couldn't even hear her on the phone. So anyway, like I was saying, thank you guys for the outpouring support. We can't hear you at all, Korisha. Yes. We're going to try it one more time, and if not, you want to call in?
Just leave your picture up.
Okay, we can leave your picture up, but go ahead and we're going to leave your picture up and call in, but we're going to try it one more time, and if we can't hear you, then I'll call you back. All right. Okay. So, anyway, so listen, with this being domestic violence, I shared a lot of my story. We're going to wait as we wait on Korisha to come back in. I also wanted to share because the question was asked about intimate partner violence. And intimate partner violence is when you are dating someone and, or married and you are violated in your marriage. So the question was asked about that. And unfortunately, there is an alarming rate of every 1 in every 6 women who are married are sexually assaulted and even raped by their spouse, right? So that question was asked to me. So I said I was going to give the information back. So I wanted to make sure you guys knew that. I don't understand, it's hard to prove that your spouse has raped you, but it does, unfortunately, it does happen. So I wanted to give that information back out to, so that the person who hopefully they're here on today. So we're going to get Korisha back on. I don't know what happened. Everything was fine. Korisha.
Yeah.
All right. Can you please put your picture up and then we're just going to call and leave you on the phone? Just click the link.
Okay. Just a second.
Okay. All right. So listen, guys, if y'all can hear her, put a thumbs up for me. Korisha, say something, please.
Can you hear me?
Put a thumbs up if y'all can hear Korisha.
Can you hear me?
Yep. I can hear you over the phone. I'm waiting for somebody to let me know on the live if they can hear you through the microphone. All right, they can hear. Great, awesome. All right, finally. I don't know what's going on. So, Korisha, welcome.
Hi, Ellasin. Hello. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you so much.
It's a little crazy, right?
Yeah. But thank you so much for joining us on tonight and your willingness to use your voice to share, your willingness to share your story in hopes of helping other people. You know, so I first want to start with just talking about, you know, who Korisha is now and who Korisha is. Was it affected by Korisha's childhood?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Korisha today is a little bit more, I would say, a little bit more outspoken. The old Korisha, the baby Korisha, as I call her, the one that still struggles from time to time, because we all still have struggles. That's the one that's lost. She wants to have this, I would say, she wants to have this, you know, I don't, a grown Korisha's attitude, but there's still some things that she's still struggling with. So the girl today, or the woman today, is totally different from the little girl that was lost in the shell before.
Wow. So you're feeling like you've been lost.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, abuse, it is the understatement. People don't really understand exactly what you're going through because they may not have been through the same thing. I read something the other day that states that, you know, we may not have the same boat, but we're all in the same storm. And that spoke volumes to me. It spoke a lot of volumes because you have people going through things all the time. However, you have the slightest idea of what they're going through, what they've been through, and how they're struggling with it in their everyday walk.
Yeah.
For me, it was rough. It was really rough as a child, dealing with molestation and sexual abuse, and not having someone to really talk to. My mom, you know, I was protecting her. We talked about, you know, we've had our conversations where we've talked, you know, our girl time and, you know, talked about different things growing up. But you can't really tell mom everything.
Yeah.
I felt like I was protecting her.
Yeah.
And it caused more of negative energy than a positive energy.
So speak to that, Korisha. Speak to that. You were protecting her, right? And some people might not understand what that means. But the things that you were going through, you were protecting her because of what was said, right?
Correct. It was told that I would pretty much lose my mother if I said something. So this is my mom, my mommy. So the person who, you know, I look at every single day. I didn't want her hurt. So for me, I have to protect mom and not say anything and harbor these feelings and keep harboring them until it causes a negative shift with me. So now I'm enraged and doing all kinds of things that I wasn't supposed to be doing.
Yes.
But it was something in me that made me feel good because if I could literally have, then it was kind of like a win for me.
Yeah.
But those are all negative thoughts.
Yeah.
That shouldn't have ever been.
I'm glad that you brought that up because a lot of people, they don't understand why people don't tell. But if I tell, you're going to hurt my mom. So I have to be quiet and hold this in. It's double. It's double the abuse because not only were they sexually abusing you, but now they were psychologically, emotionally abusing you as well. It's almost like they had tape just over your mouth and you couldn't say anything, but you were screaming on the inside.
Correct. That's if I could explain it any better, I would. But that is just like you're taped, you're bound down. You can't say anything. You can't fight. All you can do is just take it until you can see some type of escape out of it.
And you knew your predator was family, correct? They were family.
Yes. A lot of people think, oh, I have to watch Johnny, I have to watch Sue in front of the schoolhouse. It can be inside your own home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It can be right there inside your own home, and oftentimes that is worse, because how do I say Uncle so and so or Auntie this or somebody is doing that and be heard?
It's difficult. I specifically remember my mother, when she did find out at the age of 17, I decided to let her know what was going on. And she was explosive. She was very upset. She called that side of the family, which was my father's side of the family, my biological father. Mm-hmm. And the one person that I expected to believe me basically chose her child and told the whole family that I lied.
Jesus.
It couldn't have happened. It didn't happen to her. She's making up something. That didn't happen. And that same relative ended up doing 8 to 25 for rape.
Good.
Later
Good. Amen. Amen. It's sad that it happened, but thank God that he served some kind of time. And the thing about it is, there's another part of the story, which is the telling. I finally decided to tell at the age of 17, and I was met with resistance, hatred, unbelief. So now I'm being re-victimized again.
Correct. It brought so much rage in me. I completely walked away from that side of the family, and it was rough, because now it's, oh, she's too good to talk to us. She thinks she's better than everybody else. And it wasn't that at all. I walked away from siblings. I walked away from, other family members that I loved and adored dearly. Mm-hmm. But to protect some type of peace that I had to just get away from it. And pretty much I was the victim, but then I turned into the person that, oh, well, she thinks she's all of that and then some. Right. She doesn't even come around us anymore.
Right.
So then I had to deal with self-fulfillment.
Mm-hmm. I want to talk about you protecting your peace and getting away. So most people don't understand that when you're a sexual abuse victim, this difficult. Even though I'm trying to protect my peace, I still may have difficulty with intimate relationships. I'll have unexplainable feelings of like anger, fear, and even rage. And then you went to escape, and you went into the military.
Yes, absolutely. Went into the military. Military was good for a little while. And those demons, the skeletons, followed me in the military. Mm-hmm. I was sexually assaulted in the military as well.
My God. Then you was sexually assaulted in the military. And I was reading as early as September 1st of this year that it is estimated that 1 in every 10 women experience some kind of unwanted sexual assault. And so the numbers between 2018 and 2021, they have increased an estimate of 35% for sexual assault. So here you go to get away, to escape what was happening as a child. You go into the military, and now you're sexually assaulted in here too.
Absolutely.
Korisha, how do we live with this right now?
I'm getting better. I've been in intensive therapy for it. And it's kind of funny that you asked that question, because same way that I had to protect my mom, at this point I had to protect myself in the military. Mm-hmm. They wanted to put me out for not mentally able or mentally fit to be in the military.
So I'm about to jump in on here. So here we go again. You yes. telling what's happening to you.
Yeah.
And now you are being re-victimized again.
Yes. Absolutely. I I was basically made to seem like I was crazy. And go, have this therapy. I did that, and it really wasn't enough. I dealt with night terrors. I dealt with failed relationships. I dealt with pretty much enrage within that I honestly could not handle, because this is once again the second time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm speaking up and I'm getting shot down again.
Yeah.
So it takes over so many psyches that no one would ever imagine, what you go through. Yeah. And that one, I ran away from that one, tried to harbor it. And my whole career in the military, I dealt with sexual harassment. Mm-hmm. I remember it is when I had just had my first son, and I had a sergeant, to be exact. He literally did not know who my husband was, and literally told my husband, they were playing basketball, that he had slept with me. Mm. And once things kind of got in the wash and I started to scream again, he basically told me he would pretty much mess up my career if I said anything, if I pretty much was a whistleblower. So now I have to take that in and just deal with it until I can eventually get out.
Just deal with it?
Just deal with it.
How do we just deal with it?
Just shut up. You're just deal with it.
I don't even have words for that right now. Just shut up and deal with it. So it's like you had to shut up and deal with it as a child, shut up and deal with it as a female in the Marine Corps. So everybody is shutting up Korisha's voice.
Correct.
How is Korisha feeling?
Hopeless, lost, alone. Even though I had a family, I had 2 children, as you would call, I had the white picket fence. But deep down inside, I was back into the little girl's body. I was just a grown adult at the time, trying to raise my own children.
Yeah. And
ensure that no one violated them in any way.
Yeah. Yeah. Because now the fight is almost like we feel like we lost the fight for us. So we got to fight for our kids the way we would want somebody to have fought for us.
Correct.
So, and then in your fight, in your voice being silent, when did you learn to find your voice? When did you know that you mattered?
Wow. I would say probably in my 30s. It was a long time. I was lost for a very, very, very long time. Didn't know which way to go. Trying to live life as a Christian woman. Trying to stand by the husband that I had at the time. And, just dealing with a lot of stuff at that time. Mm-hmm. So I would say probably about 30 is when in my 30s is when I literally gained my voice.
Mm-hmm. And, the thing about gaining the voice, and you and I have chatted a lot, sometimes in gaining the voice, we yell so loud because we want to be heard. And yet it feels like something people still don't hear us. And I say people still don't hear us because your husband at the time, you shared.
Yes.
You shared your story with him.
Mm-hmm.
He knew your story.
Absolutely.
But yet. And that's all I'm going to say, because you know how I feel about that.
I dealt with a lot. I really honestly dealt with a lot. He didn't understand. That was the first time, I guess, him dealing or even having to have any dealings with a person that was physically and mentally abused.
Mm-hmm.
So it really didn't, the physical portion or the sexual portion was gone. But then, I dealt with a lot of things inside the marriage that pretty much made me out to be bitter and angry because I couldn't have a normal relationship.
I couldn't have a normal relationship. Speak to that.
There was a lot of infidelity. Unfortunately. And I was just viewed as someone who was angry. Very angry. You're angry. And unfortunately, my secrets that I divulged, were pretty much used against me as we went down the rope of pretty much, severing ties or severing the relationship or the marriage.
Yeah.
So once again.
So here we go again. Here we go again.
My secrets or everything that I provided turned into a circus. So now, once again, I feel like the little girl.
The little girl.
Yeah.
The little girl that nobody protected, that you tried to protect. And the one that you thought that was going to be there for you to help you protect her also turned into a violator as well.
Correct.
Yeah, because it was some domestic violence there.
Yes, absolutely.
So, infidelity, using my past against me, and domestic violence.
Correct.
What is Korisha feeling at this time in her life?
Honestly, I have no voice. There is no hope. I don't want to be here anymore. Just take me away. I don't want to deal with it. I've been hurting long enough. I don't want to deal with it anymore. And what was told to me was, if you're going to commit suicide, go upstairs. I don't want to see it. Yes. Yeah, so
so if this is what you're gonna do, go upstairs. It's no kind of, and the sad thing about it is, the people who already violated you in the past, that's one thing that they didn't show no concern. But I married you. We have children together. And that's what you tell me?
Yes.
I'm so grateful for God.
Absolutely, God. I would say my mom, if it really wasn't for my mother, honestly, I probably wouldn't be here right now. I had a praying mother.
Yeah.
And she always told me, Korisha, every single time you just get in these ruts or you feel the way you do, God always show his face. It never fails. He always show it to you in that 23rd hour, 59 seconds, 58 seconds, 57. And you have been blessed. And I mean, honestly, if it wasn't for her, I don't really honestly know where I would be.
So, and the thing about that is, right, and your mom, yes, the praying mom is saying you have been blessed. Can you fathom that you've been blessed, knowing all the stuff that you've been through? Were you seeing yourself as blessed at that time?
Not at that time, I didn't. I really honestly could not tell you why I was going through what I was going through. It didn't feel good. I was like, what did I do? Who did I upset? Big guy, did I upset you? I lost faith. I really did lose faith. I was one who was deeply rooted and I lost it. I just like I don't want to. I'm upset with you right now because I don't understand why you are allowing these things to happen to me. Mm-hmm. I mean, what did I do?
Right.
And I just want to get out of it. So at that time, no, I didn't think I was blessed at all. Mm-hmm. However, once I started to gain traction and literally putting my faith back out there and literally giving it to him, it just seemed like the fall. And honestly, fall is my favorite time of the year because it means those green leaves are turning and dying off and some new ones are going to come on.
Yes. I like that. I like
so
that.
That is honestly my favorite time of the year, and God always sheds my leaves.
Yeah.
It never fails.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's kind of reversed. I end up with winter first because it's winter. I look at it as harsh. It's harsh. It's cold. It's bitter. It can be ugly, and you might not end up out of the house. But then I have these leaves that are dropping, and I'm just like, hey, I got you. Just lean back on me. I got you. You're gonna be fine. And springtime is going to come here, and you are going to be as beautiful as ever, like you were the last time.
Amen.
So today, Korisha, you know, all I can say is that I've been blessed.
Yeah.
I've been really blessed, and he doesn't put anything on you that you can't bear. But obviously, I could deal with it. Mm-hmm. And currently, I am able to talk to other young women who may have been going through the same thing that I'm going through, but they just don't have their voice. Their voice is on. Mm-hmm. And maybe they're just like me. They're scared to talk. Yes. They don't want to talk. But you got to.
Yeah.
You have to talk, regardless of how ugly it is. Speak up.
Yeah.
You never know who you're going to help in the long run.
I like that you mentioned seasons change, because seasons do change and we go through different seasons in our life. And then Preston had jumped in and he had said a renewal. And, you know, when you go through trauma and when you go through different abuse, it all, especially sexual abuse to a young woman or a little girl, it's like it almost makes you feel like you've been used up and nobody would want you. So to know that the seasons change, and you know, I have a hashtag and it says blooming from the hurt within, because I can still bloom because of God. And you had said one time you were angry, you know, at God because of everything that you went through. And you know, at that time I can say that sometimes we are ignorant when we don't know any better, and our anger is geared towards God because we misplace it. Mm-hmm. We misplace it. So, you know, thank God for your mother. Thank God he was right on time and you didn't go upstairs. And thank God that you keep in the faith. But more importantly, that you know that seasons change, and as they change, you have the strength to go through each of them.
Yes. Absolutely.
And now you're using your voice to help other people know that this season won't last always.
Nope. It never does. Mm-hmm. But God, he that's the thing. For me, I had to realize that God never said that it was going to be lavender and daffodil and chamomile every day. Mm-hmm. He never promised us that.
Right.
He never said that. You got to go through something. You have to find or seek or get that greater reward in the end. Mm-hmm. You have to. Mm-hmm. For me, mine was kind of rough, but I got through it. Do I have good days? Absolutely. Do I have so many not good days? Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I have learned is to make sure that my faith is there. My faith is there.
Yeah.
Without it, you're not going to get too far.
A firm foundation in the Lord. You have to have faith in order to get through difficult times. You got to have faith, just period. You know, I was thinking about, you know, when you said sometimes you don't have so good days. Did you forgive? Yeah. Have you forgiven those?
Some. I'll be honest with you. Some I have not. I'm still working on it. Mm-hmm. Like I told you before, I'm still drinking my milk. I'm still drinking my milk. So I try to knock off a piece of the elephant when I can.
Okay.
And that's just kind of how I do it. Day by day, like I said, I'm human. I actually saw and I thought I forgave. I did think I thought I forgave until I was actually I was literally in front of him, and this was maybe a couple of years ago. He had gotten out of jail and everything, and I had to see him at a funeral. And honestly, I wasn't there. And I said, okay, God, I'm sorry, but I'm not there. Yeah. I'm not. So,
but as long as you didn't see him, you was like, okay, I thought I went through the process of forgiving him, and I thought I forgave him. But then, I mean, because, you know, people talk about triggers, or you shouldn't be triggered, or sometimes you don't know your trigger until it happens. So now here you are facing him at a funeral.
Yeah. Triggers can be pretty much anything. Mm-hmm. Triggers can be a smell. It can be the cologne. It can be the smell of a home. It can be the food. It can be one word. And you could be anywhere. You could be at Panera Bread, and someone comes in, and you could smell that smell, or maybe they say something, and it triggers. So, you know, people, it's just, you know, I wish that people would be a little bit more empathetic. Can't be sympathetic, especially if you haven't been through it. But empathetic you can be. And I just wish that more people were a little bit more empathetic, or a little bit more to, okay, you know what, maybe they're just going through something right now. And, you know, just leave them right where they are. Pray about it. But in the world that we live today, in the society that we have, everyone is judgmental. So you tend to kind of take a step back and say nothing. But the trigger is still there. And now you have to figure out, how can I get out of this? What can I do? How can I get out of it? Think happy thoughts, maybe? I don't know. Try to not let it control you so much.
Right.
But how can you do that?
Right.
When it's a trigger?
When it's a trigger. It's a trigger, and you don't even know. I know, you know, and talking about your mom being a praying woman and stuff like that, how hard is it when, you know, your faith is actually being tested, because perhaps there's people in the church that are either not receptive of what you're saying, or discrediting what you're saying, or may even be doing things their own self, and you know it.
The little Korisha would just walk away and not go back. Pretty much run. I was considered what you would say a runner. I was a runner. Not so much today. Today, all I can say is you can't control the ignorance of people. Either A, they know, or they don't. And usually when they do not, that's when judgments happen. Everything's judged. Everything is critiqued. And, I mean, they may know too, and they still may judge. You have to really pray for those people, and really honestly ask for forgiveness of any kind of negative thoughts that you may have with that person. That's today.
That's today.
That's today.
But tomorrow
might be another situation, day by day.
I so appreciate your honesty. Listen, you have been watching Real Talk with Ellasin, and we are talking with Korisha Ford about surviving abuse, surviving family abuse, surviving being sexually assaulted in the military, surviving domestic violence, just listen. Korisha has been sharing some of her story, even to the point where she said, I didn't even want to be here anymore. Like, things were so bad, I didn't want to be here. But thank God I had a praying mother. I was going to start saying I had a praying grandmother, but thank God I had a praying mother, and thank God for faith, and thank God that he was right on time. And Korisha, I want to thank you for sharing your story. Especially because sometimes when you share your story, you get repercussions.
Yeah. You do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you will. You do, and you will. You have people, I can't believe she said that. That's not true. It didn't go down that way. This is my story.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your story. This is my story.
Right.
This is my way of releasing negative energy,
mm-hmm.
regardless of how long it takes me.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people feel, oh, she should have been gotten over that. Oh my God, that was 20 years ago.
Oh man, yeah.
No.
Right.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. I can't believe she's still talking about that. That's
mm-hmm.
it. She's a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
You can't tell people how to feel. You can't tell them how to feel, especially when you haven't been there.
And
people want to take as long as they want.
Right. And the one thing I want to say about that is, because people say time heals all things, and I don't agree with that, because it's what you're doing during that time. If you're sitting there festering, being upset, then guess what? You're going to still fester and be upset. But if you're working towards healing, if you're working towards forgiving, if you're doing the work, that's when time can heal. And if you let God totally heal you, it's not fair. I remember the first time I heard a message, and the pastor was like, if you dealt with this and if you dealt with that and you need to get over it, you holding on to your past. You think you want to hold on to something like that?
Correct.
No,
we're not robots.
It's holding on to you.
Right. We're not robots. We have but that's the other thing that I battled with when I was going through a lot of the misty things. Oh, well, you're Christian. You should be over this by now. You've taken it to the altar. You dropped it off at the altar. You've taken your veil off. You put it at the altar. I'm still human.
Mm-hmm.
I'm human. Mm-hmm. I'm human. And these are the feelings that I have. And maybe one day, maybe they'll go away eventually one day, but you're still going to have some type of collateral damage, some type of, remnant to what you went through. It's still going to be there.
Right. So
you can say,
mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm not going to think about it today. But like we talked about before, there's triggers.
Yeah. Yeah. And so with that, it's even in letting it go, right? How do we tell, like, for instance, if we didn't remember, and if we didn't share our story, how do we give God the glory if we want to just forget about it and get over it? Like, how do you do that? You're telling me forget about it and get over it, but yet God is getting the glory from my story, right? So what do you want me to do? Do I give God the glory and tell people how he has healed me, and even I'm healing, but I'm still speaking, and part of me speaking is part of my healing? Or do you want me to just get over and act like it didn't happen? Like, what are you saying right now?
You can't. If people would say things like, I can't believe that they're going to church and they have this short skirt on and tattoos. They provocative clothes. But if all of us is perfect, will we really need God?
Woo! Mic drop.
He I hate to say it this way, but I feel like you're put through certain things, but you can't come back and talk about it.
Yes.
No one said that you're going to heal right then and there. Like you said, you might still be going through healing. And this may be the healing phase to be able to talk to someone else and say, Ellison, you know what, honey? I've been through the same thing that you've been through. Let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
How you feel. And it's not about, hey, Ellison, how you feeling, girl? No. How do you feel? Because it's two different. They're two different questions. One is a formal question.
Yeah.
And one is a question of literally, how are you?
Sometimes I feel like that is a hypocritical question and people don't really want to know how you're feeling.
No, it's a formality. That's all.
Hey, how you? And you don't even stick around and go, well, you know.
Yeah. I may have just about to jump off the ledge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you would never know because you didn't ask. You really didn't ask me. So for me, when I speak to young women, I always tell them, look, I've been right where you are. I've been through it. Is it rough? Yes. Can you get through it? Yeah. Will you be a stronger person? Absolutely. Because you've been through it. You get stronger. You're, I would say, callous. You have on some armor to be able to fight and help somebody else along the way. So they can receive the same armor that you have. It doesn't mean that you're going to be cold and bitter in the inside. It's just you see things in a different light, a different perspective.
Yeah.
And you're able to talk and say, you know, don't jump off that ledge.
Right.
Don't take that bottle of pills. Don't slit your wrist. It's going to be okay, baby girl, because I love you. And I really, truly, honestly love you. Yeah. I love the fact that you are still existing on earth. I love the fact that God woke you up this morning. God gave you another day of life. You are, it might not be pretty, but guess what? You're still here.
You still
and
here.
And that's right. That right there is something to even be blessed about.
Yeah.
Because you here. You
right.
here.
That's good. I like that you said. Go ahead.
But people take advantage of that.
Yeah. I like that you said that, you know, on some days, you know, you were honest. You said some days I'm okay, some days I'm not. And then Jaquita said, you know, it's okay not to be there yet. But I like the fact that although you're still going through your process, you're still helping other people. You're not stuck in a pity party, you know, oh, woe is me. You're choosing to help other people, which also heals you. You know, you're helping heal other people is helping your wounds to heal.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I seen Jaquita, and she said, I love you, Korisha. And I thought about that. How long did it take you to receive those words when somebody said, I love you, Korisha?
It was hard because I am one who didn't like pictures. I didn't think I was beautiful. I didn't want pictures. I didn't want you telling me you love me. Because that's just not what I felt. I didn't feel love. I thought those words were not. And you treat them, or they're treated in this situation or this circumstance. So I didn't think I was pretty. The word I love you didn't really matter to me. You beautiful? No, don't do that. Stop it. So, you know, I had a lot of, you know, self-esteem issues and self-confidence problems. So it took me a while. It took me a while to do that. And today, I'll tell a young lady, you make sure you get up and tell yourself I love me.
Yes.
I love me. You look in that mirror and you tell yourself you're beautiful.
Yes.
And can't nobody tell you that you're not beautiful.
That's
because
right.
You are. And that you are important in this world, and you're gonna serve a purpose.
Yes.
Because you're still here. Everybody has a purpose in life, whether it's to give inspiration to someone else, whether it's to help, coach, counsel, just be that backbone for a person, support, to lead, all of that stuff. It's important. So everyone's here and everyone has purpose.
Yeah.
You don't know your purpose yet until you get into the grit of life.
That's good. And then your purpose will be revealed and God will use you for the purpose. So we have on there author. Tell us a little bit about that. You wrote some books, and I think there's a play coming up. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so listening to young ladies and myself, I've taken different experiences, whether it's mine or someone else's, and I actually wrote a book. It's called, and believe it or not, Ellasin, it's called Seasons Change. So the book is about a young lady named Kendall, and she's going through, different things in life, trying to find her identity, trying to find her purpose in life.
Mm-hmm.
But in her walk of trying to find her purpose, she is being attacked by the adversary a lot. Every time she turns around, it's something there. It never fails.
Mm.
But she stands fast, and things turn out to be pretty cool for her at the end. So as far as the seasons change, it's Kendall's life, and their base broke down into seasons. Spring being, like I stated, the beauty of life coming back in.
Mm-hmm.
Summer is her crazy fun time, beach, having fun time with girls. Her fall is literally, the leaves dropping. It's time to go into a mode of maybe if there's another story that's coming up that might not be so pretty. And then winter, like I stated before, is her harsh. Those are her harsh months, the harshest stories that she can possibly go through. So I was literally blessed enough to run into some other colleagues, and they loved the story so much. It's triggering. It's triggering. It's triggering.
Yes, ma'am.
There's no hold card. None. Let's get to it. Let's get it. And
Can I share a little bit? Just
sure.
So listen, guys, right? I had the honor of sitting in on, I think it was Screen One, I think that's how they say it, of the play that's being written. And it is definitely telling Korisha's life as Kendall, and it was triggering. It was extremely triggering. I think I was telling Korisha, I was like, oh my God, it was so triggering. I can't. But I appreciated the fact that she allowed her story to be told in a way to let that everyone can understand. It doesn't matter your ethnicity, your social status, your financial status. It doesn't matter, man, woman, or anything. You could definitely understand what she was saying. So much so, it was almost like feeling her pain, especially if you've been through yourself. And so I had the honor of sitting and listening through that, and it's good. It really is good. So kudos to you, Korisha, but my God.
Thank you. Yes, so it's turned into a play. So the book will be finished very soon. I am pushing for it to be done or completed by the end of the year, so we can roll out the play at the same time. Mm-hmm. They always say that the book is always better. It's juicier.
Right. So, I just want to commend you for coming on and, sharing some of the things you have been through, and the things that you've been through can touch many people even to this day, from, being molested by family members to trying to run away to the military where you felt like you was going to make a life for yourself, to it happening in there, and then meeting, oh my God, my knight not shining armor came, darkness came, and it swept me away. And then that turned into craziness too. So
there was one song I remember. I'll tell you the short story. I was in my car, and I was like, "Good Lord, like what, Lord, what you got for me? What's going on? What you got?" And one of my favorite songs by Anita Baker, Fairy Tale. And you gotta go back and listen to it. And she talks about, her mother talking to her and telling her that, knight in shining armor is gonna come and whisk her away. But it's a big old fairy tale.
Yeah.
But some have knight in shining armor. But for me, it wasn't that great. But it's okay. It's okay because he didn't really know. He had to really deal with a lot with me as it pertains to all the things that I was dealing with. So,
yeah.
I forgive him for that because he didn't understand.
I'm glad you said that because our spouses, that have to deal with our baggage, they actually go through a lot that they didn't sign up for because they didn't know. And truth be told, sometimes we don't know until we start dumping it out. So, excuse me, to have forgiveness for him for, especially the things that, he didn't know, because sometimes people act away out of fear.
Correct.
Fear and ignorance. Right? So that's good that you say that, you have forgiveness for him. Excuse me. So if you had to leave a nugget, what would your nugget be?
Keep your faith. It's simple. Keep your faith. It is very simple. Keep your faith because, like I say, all is not all is not lost. You think it's lost, and that's because you can't see the light. When you're going through it and you're in the darkness, you can't see anything. And sometimes the light might be there, but you don't want to see it.
Keep the faith. Korisha, you see Eric's comment?
I'm not paying attention.
He said, you don't want a knight in shining armor. That means he hasn't been in any battle, so he might not fight for you and your feelings.
Hello, thank you, bro.
I love it. You got to find somebody that's been bumped up and binged up a little bit.
Yeah, we're not robots. We're not robots.
Yes, that was a good comment. So yes, keep the faith. And although we are talking about domestic violence, and this is also Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I know, I shared this with you and another close friend of mine and some family members know that I had a little scare. And I was like, Lord, I don't want this testimony. I got the nerve to be telling the Lord what I don't want. But I was like, Lord, I don't want this testimony, right? So, and I just do want to say that God delivered me, and I don't have the testimony of breast cancer. So, amen, glory to that part, right? God is so good, and that is all about keeping the faith because, like you said, we're human. And although, I would quote scriptures and I had prayer and everything else, we still get anxious. We still get anxious. We still get triggers, right? And sometimes while we're on the battlefield of this healing and helping other people, we get re-triggered again. But all I can say is, Korisha, you keep fighting. And just like you telling us and our viewers, keep the faith. It's important, especially in those times when it seems like the darkness is overshadowing, and it's something that Eric said in his book, even in a dark room, the light shines through under the door. So there's always light in the Lord. So I just want to thank you again for coming on and sharing your story, with us of all the things that you've been through. I love you with everything I got. And I feel the love from you too.
Yes, your family, honey, your family. I love you too.
Yes. So thank you guys for tuning in to Ellasin, with Real Talk with Ellasin. Thank you, Korisha. Again, author, survivor. We're going to be looking for that book, Seasons Change. I sat through one session of that play. I love you from a distance with that play. So coming up next week, we're going to have a wonderful lady also. Her name is Nona. She's going to be on here. Nona story is a little different. She's going to talk about how she was coming through segregation and different things like that. So Nona has a powerful story of different kind of abuse that she has gone through. So guys, tune in to Real Talk with Ellasin next week at 7 p.m. And please continue to pray for domestic violence awareness and breast cancer patients. And I want to thank you all again for tuning in. Y'all have a wonderful night. Be blessed. And like Korisha said, keep the faith. Mwah. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.